Ladies and gents, since 2018 I've had this treadmill sitting in the back of my room. It's been featured in many classic videos like the Morgues parody and the morning routine YouTuber parody that I did a few weeks ago, but unfortunately it's on the brink of death. It doesn't function like it used to anymore. We've tried oiling it up, taking it apart and oiling the insides and everything. Nothing works, which is expected because I did get it from eBay, so it's had a good lifespan. Now it's just sitting there in the back taking up my room space, so it's gotta go. You know, it'd probably be wise if I took it apart before moving it downstairs. Help me! I'm gonna crush myself. With that out of the way, let's actually get into the video. I recently discovered something incredible on TikTok, and people always say that there's nothing good on TikTok, but I'm going to be proving all of those people wrong today. I don't watch many films in my free time. If a new one comes out and it's got a lot of hype around it, or it just looks interesting, then I'll check it out. Occasionally I'll discover an older film that I'll go back and watch, but because of that, I'm at like the tip of the iceberg when it comes to films and cinema. You know, I've seen the films that everybody's heard of, but there's so much more out there that I'm missing out on. Not just different genres, but films made in different parts of the world. Well, thanks to TikTok, I've been exposed to the craziness of Indian films, and I absolutely love it. I came across this video called Why I Stopped Watching Indian Films Part 14. The same reason this person stopped watching them is why I started watching them. It starts off with these soldiers walking up a tree that's being held back with some rope. They grab onto each other, cut the rope, and then get launched through the sky. As they're flying through the air, they combine their shields to create this one singular shield that breaks their fall as they land in what I'm assuming is the enemy's base or something, and that's where the clip ends. So I guess the reason he stopped watching Indian movies is because of how unrealistic and insane that scene was. But again, that is the exact same reason I'm gonna start watching them. The director of this film wasn't afraid to include this scene in the full movie, despite how crazy and illogical it is. I think. I mean, I've never tried it before, I've never seen it happen before, so I'm just gonna guess that you can't do this in real life. Maybe this is a completely unedited clip, it's just a real stunt that they pulled off. One thing that really sells it for me is how they elegantly roll into position as they hit the ground. Now, I've seen a lot of these Why I Stopped Watching Indian Movie TikToks. Again, I mean, this is part 14. This person clearly has a lot of reasons as to why they stopped watching Indian movies, but they're all like this. It's not just one specific film where they had this crazy idea. No, this kind of stuff happens in these films all the time. Of course, sometimes it might be a film about a character that has superpowers, so it doesn't really have to make sense if they run and jump off a building, go flying through the sky, and then grab onto a plane. I haven't seen that film, but I'm just gonna guess he has superpowers. But in others, the character doesn't seem to have any superpowers at all, they're just sort of normal, and they still manage to pull stuff like this off. These people are about to open fire, so what does the main character over here do? Well, he kicks the drain cover so it flips up into the air, acting as a shield, jumps down that open hole, pops back up a few seconds later, then proceeds to knock them all out. When my film Man vs. Gorilla eventually comes out, you're gonna see the inspiration that these films have had on it. I'm not being sarcastic either, because at the end of the day it's a film. I want to see stuff that can't be done in real life. But it would be completely wrong if we were just going to label Indian films as having these crazy scenes that don't make sense. Because we have films like John Wick Chapter 2, where they're walking down that shopping centre, shooting each other with silenced pistols, and absolutely nobody notices it at all. I mean, if anything, that's probably more unrealistic than any of these TikToks that I've seen. But again though, it's a film, who cares? It's probably more unrealistic than this other clip where this woman trips on something, smacks her head into the wall, falls into this suitcase perfectly, it closes, and then she gets transported to a completely different location because the fall knocked her out. This is one of my favorite clips. This guy gets hit with a baseball bat around the face. His blood goes flying, as you would expect, you know, when you get hit in the face with a baseball bat, but he manages to grab the blood before it can hit these two people, and then he acts as if everything's all okay. How can you not love this? You got this other film that starts off with a car chase. One character gets out and shoots the other vehicle. It goes flying through the sky, but that's not it though. As it's flying through the sky, he manages to he manages to pull the other person out of the vehicle and pin them to the ground. Part 11 is pretty funny as well because this character falls off of the stairs or something, and she's literally falling for about 20 seconds, and he still manages to catch her. Like, I don't even want to speed this up because I want you to fully see how long she was falling. It didn't look high enough for it to be a 20-second fall, but you know, thankfully she was falling in slow motion and he was able to save her. I don't know what's going on in this film. You got this motorcyclist, which I'm guessing is the hero, this other character that I'm assuming he's trying to save. The villain pulls out a rocket launcher and shoots them, but somehow he just fucking leaps off of the ground into the air, goes straight over the rocket, and then we don't know what happens next because the clip ends. These films have no boundaries, not even physics. Like another motorbike clip where he goes up a ramp and somehow just keeps going. He just does not land. Then he gets flung off of the motorbike, goes even further into the sky, and still lands. Anyway, that's going to be it for this video. I discovered these films a few weeks ago and I just had to share them. They were too good to not make a video about. Of course, I know not every Indian film is like this. Some of them aren't even Indian films, because I checked the comments on a couple of the videos and people were correcting them, saying where it was actually from. My apologies, my camera just died and this second battery is dead as well, so let's wrap this up quickly. What I was saying was, I'm aware that films created here and in America and stuff like that, they can just be as crazy and unrealistic as these. It's just that these are on another level, and I aspire to make a film full of stunts like this. Since Man vs. Gorilla isn't going to be out for a while, you can use this as a sort of basis. You're going to see stunts just as crazy as that in Man vs. Gorilla throughout the whole thing. But anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Definitely subscribe if you're new here, and I will see you all in my next video.